track, yeah. AB on the track, yeah.
I'm from Black America, it's just another year. You knew the disrespect by your elected puppeteers, but let me show you how to persevere. Cause get it.
Let me start this young over. It's actually kind of knocking. Hey, maybe Baltimore, y'all might be on to something though. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I'm a DC dude.
It is a vibe.
But I low key be bobbing to like club music and like house music. Oh. What y'all be saying? Y'all be like, y'all gonna mess it up. Tootsie Roll. Hey. This is the only way I can put music on the live is by doing like a mixed version. Because if I play the regular version, y'all flag the video, YouTube, Facebook. Stop playing with me, Slim.
Thanks, Nicole. Appreciate it.
Hey. Oh, get it! Y'all over there partying at home, I know y'all are. Let me stop clowning. Look, it's your boy Jay DaCosta.
It's your girl Katniss.
Together we are the Nitty Gritty. We back, baby. What's up, y'all? I hope y'all done had a good week. Oh yeah, your hair do look fire though.
You guys like it. Thank you.
It looks really good.
I appreciate it.
For real.
Thank you very much.
I'm definitely feeling that hair.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm feeling like the whole look. It looks really good. Shout out to everybody live with us right now on IG. Shout out to our Facebook fam. Shout out to everybody on YouTube. We here. We've gotta pay these bills. Shout out to DC Shop Pod. Like I said, we shouting them out all month. If you're in the DMV area, if you want some pizza, I know some of you guys are conscious about what you eat. But if you want to splurge one day and just be bad, check out DC Shop Pod.
Juan and I are willing to pay for a DC Shy Pie at the next engagement that one of you guys invite us to. So whomever you are or whomever invites us someplace, if you decide, I really want to try a deep dish pizza, let us know. We'll go ahead and we'll buy it.
Yeah, well, or if you're out of town like my man Jason, I see you. Or shout out to Herman or anybody else watching. If you don't live in the area but you come in town, we're going to treat you to some DC Shop pizza for sure. Definitely going to do that.
Now, it's not everybody. We said the first engagement.
Yeah, the first person to engage us. So that works two ways. First person to want to come in town and visit, we got you. Or the first person to hit us up who's here locally, we got you. Just the first person. We can't be buying pizza for everybody. We don't got it like that. But we'll hook somebody up. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for everybody in the comments today watching. Love to have you guys out. Before we get into current news, we're going to talk a little bit about people fronting on social media. This conversation comes by way of Katniss, but I think it's something to talk about because it's not just social media. We see that it falls into relationships, it goes into work, it goes into politics. And sometimes at some point we just want something that's real. So we're gonna break that down. But before
you said you already told her first, honey.
Well, we ain't counting you, Nikki. You're outside of that. We was just with y'all for game night. Listen, we got you. That's different, cause I got you family. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll work that out. So yeah, we got y'all. Some real current news though, and I know you were saying something about this. So if you guys don't know, Donda is out. That's Kanye West's latest album. That is out for stream. It was supposed to come out, I think, September 7th or this weekend, something like that. But I guess they're saying now that the executives just released that joint anyways and said, nah, we going with it. Marcus, what's up? I see you. Drop a bomb for you.
Yeah, Donda is out, but there are
already some controversy, right?
There's two controversies.
Okay.
The first one being, allegedly Kanye found a young lady that had like a logo or brand on Instagram. He invited her to the field in Chicago for a listening party and then stole her whole logo. And it looks exactly the same for Donda.
There's a logo for Donda? Because see, when I looked at Donda, at least when it comes up on Apple Music, it's just blank.
No, he has a jacket with like a logo on it. And then all the people that are in the show have the same logo. And allegedly he stole it from this fashion designer.
Oh.
It's her logo. It kind of puts me in the mind of like a Purple Rain Prince kind of look. Like
it sounds like an episode of Grownish.
And then the second controversy with Donda is that he sampled Brianna Babadoo. If you guys know Brianna Babadoo, she's a gospel artist, and she became a gospel artist because she went viral. That's how she became a gospel artist. She has her first viral piece. Kanye took it and basically changed the tone of it to make it sound like a man is singing it. But when you like listen to it side by side, you know that it's her voice because it's the exact same intonations, exact same runs, and the exact same viral song. And she said that he never reached out to her. She didn't know she was on Donda, and she's just like, wow. And even in the comments, people were like, well, technically she can't sue him because it's not like she recorded it. It's like a viral video that went viral.
Yeah.
And it's not even her song that she was singing. It was a cover.
See, that gets interesting when you start looking at intellectual property when it comes to even just sampling sounds. Because there are so many memes out there. There are so many GIFs, however you're supposed to say that, GIF. But there's so many of these things out there, so it's kind of like, how do you own that? And I think that's why NFTs were becoming so popular, because it's a way of being able to own and sell online intellectual property or something that you would likewise hold a patent to or own. Like, for instance, like the term, when people do this, I said what I said, right? I'm playing with the folks right now. That's something like, technically, Nene Leakes should probably own, because you're sampling her voice. Or for instance, you got Kevin Hart. Help me. Right? Me. Like, we can borrow this voice, but it's kind of tricky about how do they get paid for that when it's used so many times. Because like all the podcasters are using these. So then it's, where's the line drawn? You get what I'm saying?
And I apologize that I don't have the designer's name of the logo that allegedly he stole. We're going to say allegedly because we don't want to get in trouble. But the fact that there are two black women who are claiming that Kanye stole something from them in order to produce Donda is shocking because Kanye, to me, he comes across as somebody that always is like, I'm a creative genius. I create all these new concepts. People jock my style. So the fact that it's like this uncanny similarity to not only the logo and also the girl's viral voice, it's wild to me because it's like, one has to ask the question, are you really this creative genius that you claim to be, or do you just do a good job, you and your team, scouting ideas that you can then leverage?
Shout out to Cedar Hill, Texas. I see you.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, for sure. And then something else interesting with Donda. So we'll move on. Some of the other Donda controversy is obviously, he wanted to drop the same day as Drake. Him and Drake are beefing. He put out Drake's address.
Kanye is He's so salacious.
But the thing, like, well, here's the thing. He's like, what's his name? P.T. Bynum or whatever. He knows how to draw a crowd. He knows how to create a spectacle, right? Now, to be fair, I think putting out people's address is whack, especially celebrities, because we know there's some wackos out there. But let's keep it real. Drake is the first person to somewhat give his address away when he sings in the song Calabasas, when he's talking about if you take the terms the right way he describes in the bars, it leads you straight to Kim Kardashian's house. So, I mean, yeah, did he put out the address? No, but did he allude to it? You get what I'm saying? Like, so I'm just saying, like, they're both petty. And I know they do it. They just do it for the attention. Another big thing in Donda, that third release or listening, they had the Kim Kardashian was there in a gown, like they were getting married again. He brought out Marilyn Manson, and he brought out the baby. He brought out this one young rapper from Chicago. Somebody watching probably knows who he is. But there's a song where he's like, they let the GDs in the dough. And that's interesting because it's like, he might have met God's disciples, but at the same time, everybody knows GD means gangster disciples. So that's kind of, like, the song is controversial enough that they won't play it in the club because they don't want it to be another kind of like tear the club up. People get to fighting and you entice the gangs to want to get active for no reason. So, some kind of...
I guess one last thing he has.
David Burns said Chance the Rapper. I know Chance is on there, but there's somebody else more local. Somebody who's not as known as Chance that's supposed to have y'all brought out. And I forgot the guy's name. I was just talking about it to some of my Xbox buddies, and I can't remember.
Something that Kanye has always had interwoven in his music and his art, or I guess you would say visual appeal. He does this like heaven and hell thing a lot.
Yeah.
He likes to, like, I don't know if he wants to.
But he's been doing that since Jesus walks.
That's what I'm saying. It's always been there. I don't know if he's trying to amplify Christianity or heaven or hell, but he always has like symbolism of like crosses and fire, and it's just really interesting to me because I don't know if that is a way of him basically showing that he battles demons. I
don't know. I mean, he says that, like he really does represent. That is, he said Harvo from The Shy, a really great rapper for Chicago. That's who it was. It was Harvo. Okay. Thanks, David Burns. I appreciate that, sir. Drop a bomb for you. Yeah, so that's what he brought out. But then, staying in the entertainment world, so, Kanye's always got a bunch. We don't need to give him no more attention than what he already has because obviously everybody's writing and talking about him, especially since the album came out today. But something else to talk about that came out this weekend, shout out to Candyman. We actually had the pleasure of watching it earlier. I know there's been varying reviews. I'm not going to give away the movie. I thought it was good, but I think it depends on what you're watching it for. I think knowing that Jordan Peele was involved, he got Nia DaCosta to direct. I was expecting some type of social connection and commentary, and I feel like I got that. I feel like it made the storyline more rich than from the original. So I thought Jordan Peele did well. There were some people complaining because they wanted to see more of a traditional slasher horror movie, but Get Out wasn't that. Us wasn't that. So if Jordan Peele's
Country really isn't that either.
Yeah, that he's also involved with, and then also the remaking of the Twilight Zone. I think the whole thing is, and even the Twilight Zone's history, and I think this is why Jordan Peele probably attached to it, is it's always been like science or horror that reflects some part of social, economical value going on in the times, right? It's supposed to be like almost like protest art in the sense that we have this cool story, but in the backdrop, it's a direct correlation or parallel to something that's going on in society. That's the whole point. It's very obvious what that message is in Candyman. I don't want to even allude to what it is. You guys should watch it for yourself. I won't give it away, but I thought it was a dope movie. Your thoughts?
I thought it was good. So I guess if I'm thinking about it from the angle of an artist, which I do consider myself to be, i.e. meaning appreciate the art and the motif of film and the symbolism and the interwovens and how this particular movie could be built upon as a series or a trilogy, if you may have you. I do appreciate it from that angle. Was it really, really scary? No. Was it quote unquote corny? No, I wouldn't say it was corny, but it's not what you would expect. Because I told people we were going to see Candyman, they were like, oh my God, I can't go see a scary movie. It's nothing like a Michael Myers or a Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's not scary like that. It's more in the mind of like a thriller. It really is in the same lane of like a Get Out.
Yeah, so I thought it was good. Y'all should check it out. Moving along, on a serious note, for those in Louisiana or just that Gulf area, prayers to you. I hope you guys are safe. I hope people are barricading themselves or properly covering in. You know, Hurricane Ida.
Yeah, but why they have what's his name down there in the middle of the daggone hurricane about to literally get taken by the ocean?
Who?
What's his name? The black guy who's bald, lost a lot of weight.
Oh, meteorologist. I know you're talking about.
Al Rucker?
No, I don't think it's Rucker, but I know you're talking about. Yeah.
They had him standing right by the water with the camera, and all of his colleagues back at the studio were scared. Like, should you really be? I mean, he's standing talking in the water, just like hitting him.
Al Roker. There you go.
Roker.
David's on fire today, man.
Al Roker.
Again.
Yeah. They have him standing there as though he's not in the middle of a hurricane. And he's talking, and literally there's whole waves. If you go on YouTube right now, you'll see it. Like, you guys will see it. Whole waves, like, slapping him in the face. And he's basically like, he can't even stand steady. I'm thinking to myself, these jokers about to get this black man dead on national television over a hurricane. News ain't never that important. News ain't never that important.
I mean, put his whole life on the line. So, but anyways, for everybody out there, please be safe. Our prayers are to you. Look, it's time for us to get down to the nitty gritty. Let me go ahead and drop a bass drop for that real quick, because it's time to get serious. All right, so look, today we wanted to talk about frontin'. Pharrell, the great artist, once said, "Why are you frontin'?" And we really want to know that question. Why are people so pressed to be fronting like they got more, know more, whatever it is? A lot of fronting going on, and we want to address it. So, we could call it grandstanding, fronting, being fake, pretending, or just flat out lying about your life. But let's just talk about, like, why are we doing this? So, first question I got to ask, why do people pretend to have more than what they really got? There was a song by William Devon that said, be thankful for what you got. But, diamond in the back, sun rooftop, digging in the scene with the gangster lean. Ooh, ooh.
And there's a Christian song said, be grateful.
Yeah, be great. I'm just curious. A lot of people out here in frontin', like, if you look at people's social media right now, and I'm curious to know what you think. Feel free to chime in the comments. We are an interactive, this is an interactive conversation on the Nitty Gritty Show. I want to know, why do you think people front to have more than what they really got?
Your dad said fronting.
Because I'm serious. I see on social media, people will be on, like, be in a car and pretend it's theirs. You see folks taking pictures next to houses.
Like a Porsche. Like, it won't even be their Porsche. They'll see it on the street and they'll post up like, making money move silently. And it's like, but what money moves are you making? Or even through conversation, I think it stems from insecurity. And I think that I'm going to focus my commentary tonight on the black community. I know, and Juan probably will help me expand out, but for my first comment, let's talk about the black community. I think a lot of us grew up desiring to have more. I also think we idealize the rap culture a lot, and they are very braggadocious. So naturally, I think everybody's like, well, I got to be Fendi'd out, I got to be Gucci'd out. And you can tell through conversation, when people talk about humility, I don't know if it's social media, but I very rarely see people present their self in a way that is humble. And I'm not saying you got to be a coward or you got to, like, be all mild and manner, but I think it stems from the insecurity. Like, at the end of the day, we're all out here trying to do better. We're all out here trying to build generational wealth. But I just don't understand the need to lie or front like you have way more than what you have. Especially on social media. It's like, do you want to get robbed? That's the reason why Pop Smoke dead today.
Yeah.
He's out here just, like, telling everybody, like, just... I don't even know why he did that.
Yeah, he was, being a little too braggadocious, and, Wolves was out there watching, and sure enough, they caught him lacking. And this happens to a lot of celebrities. Kim Kardashian even slowed down on her posting of social media after she was robbed in Paris. It was Paris, right?
She was on that.
Yeah, niggas was in Paris for real. So, I mean...
It took 2 years to plan for that kidnapping.
Yeah, so, people need to be careful. We got some comments down here. So, Nikki said, trying to keep up with the Joneses, especially our race. We know that's been going on for a long time. David Burns, shout out to David Burns out there in Texas. He
shout out David. Drop a bomb for David.
Yeah, because he been live.
I don't know if y'all watching from YouTube, but that's how you can hear all these special effects.
Yeah, so David said people should not be pretending to be someone they're not. Absolutely, because I mean, time tells the truth of all things. Jason Carver said it's almost like everybody is trying to keep up with the next person on social media, when in reality, the ones with the real money don't show it. That's a fact. One thing about, people that get real money, and when they start getting something, they're less likely to want to show it up because they really have something to lose. It trips me out when you hear these guys that pretend they got a lot of money, or they acting like they rich, or you got a lot of people out here faking like they gangsters and they not. And the truth of the matter is, any real gangster or anybody who really got money, you don't even want to put your business out there like that because you don't even want to catch that kind of heat or the drama that comes with it. But you got folks out here that really try to be internet gangsters and thugs, internet ballers and bosses.
It's hard for me to take you serious though if you live with your parents and you like talking about how you're a baller. It's like, I get it, and you probably could be saving, but it's just hard for me to really take you serious. It's like,
unless you're the Prince of Dubai, or you're like Harry or Prince William, because you're living in Buckingham Palace with your parents, you really can't claim to be a baller outside of that. For real.
And I also think when we do this comparison thing on social media, let's take a wedding for example. You have people who get upset and get jealous because they feel like, oh, somebody else's wedding is grandiose. But when it comes to financial security, something like that is gonna look very different for two people coming together that have two parents that are in the picture versus if you only got your single parent mom coming to the picture. That's the benefit of marriage, is that when your parents did what they were supposed to do, and they are not in debt, they're not waiting for you to take care of them, your parents can then contribute and invest in their children, whether it's a wedding, a house, a car. And so while you're being jealous, if anything, celebrate that idea of two people that had an installation of marriage who were able to help their kids advance, and ask them what they did to have that long-standing marriage. Because isn't marriage about, in some ways, it's about economical wealth?
Yeah. Economics is a big part of marriage. You can't take that out. Herman made a good point. He said this is definitely something that the millennials do, especially on social media.
My parents can't stand it.
And then he also said folks his age are not trying to put their business on the street. Now, I will agree and disagree with that last point. I think more, you know what I'm saying?
But your dad is saying it's true, because my parents, they are like, oh, they the kind of people, when we out of town, don't y'all say anything, don't y'all post anything. We post about it when we feel comfortable. Our generation, as soon as we touch down off the airport, in the
airport. What are you talking about? People be in the airport checking in. Yeah, flight vibes, catching the flight. You see me. And I get it. You want to celebrate those times in life, but you should be cautious of what those implications may bring. If a lot of people know where you live, if you're posting too much of your information, people know when to rob you. Keep in mind, 80% of crimes happen by those who are in close proximity to you. Very rarely do crimes happen outside in that 20%. Total strangers. Most of those crimes are going to happen to someone to know you. So if you post on your business, it's going to be your buddy, your cousin, some type of family member, friend, whoever, frenemy. That's going to be the person that robbed your house when you're gone.
Well, do you think that faking it till you make it has some type of advantage or positive notion? And the reason why I say that is because they say in a city like LA, it's good to fake it till you make it, because a lot of times when people invest into your career, whether you're a singer or actor, it's about the image that you portray. Like if you portray like, I got that swag, I got that new juice, people may be more likely to invest in you versus if you like insecure about yourself, they're like, nah, you ain't ready for this industry. So I guess in that instance, do you think that it can benefit a person?
So I think there's a line though, right? And that line gets thin. So it's one thing to say, prime example, let's say you're in a career field that requires you to wear a suit. Fake it till you make it might be you going to Macy's, going to the sale rack to grab a really nice suit, or going to Nordstrom rack to get like a designer suit because you want to have that nice cut and that look that helps you fit better into that career field you're in. I feel like that's like the faking it. You can't really afford that suit full retail, but you can at least know where to find it on sale, right? And you want to make yourself look as presentable as possible. But then there's a line of But then even in that situation, you're still actively working towards it. You're in the career field, like you're in real estate. You may be in high end real estate where you need to look nicer, or you may be in some type of like consulting or management where you need to look the part because you have high end clients. But that don't mean spend all that money now. You can't buy those Ferragamos. You need to chill out.
Okay, what about buying fake stuff then? That's faking it till you make it.
Listen,
Yeah,
I mean,
people wear fake stuff all the time.
and I think if it's one of those
What's
situations,
your opinion?
but I think if the situation is you gotta look the part, but you don't got the money for the part, you do. That's called faking it till you make it because you're actually working in it. I think where you cross the line, y'all give me y'all opinion. This is all opinionated. I don't have any fact or designated law for this. But I think where you do cross the line is when you start acting like you got more. See, it's one thing to be like, I'm going to fix myself up the best with the money I got now, the best way I can. But it's another way. It's another thing when you start acting like, yeah, you know, I'll be at Nordstrom all the time.
Buying Dior.
You know what I'm saying? It's another thing when you keep on posting that same picture from that trip five years ago. You know what I'm saying? You acting like you going out. It's another thing when you pull a Bow Wow, you post a picture of a private plane and, you know, in a private, you know, limousine service, but then you sitting in coach while you doing it. See, that's just straight out like lying.
Or what about using a profile pic with you about 50 pounds lighter from like 10 years ago, and then when you finally go out on a date or people see you in person, you look nothing like that person.
See, that's where I feel like that's where the line is drawn, right? It's one thing to say, hey, you know what? You're trying to present yourself as best as possible. You know what I'm saying? It's another thing to have personal affirmations. You know, you look in the mirror and say, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be a millionaire. But then you don't go out to the club and tell everybody you're a millionaire because you ain't one yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where you cross the line.
What about filters? What about makeup? What about body shapers? What about, you know, wearing black? Are these things also considered faking it till you make it because you're trying to look, like you always say, some girls have lava bodies. You can tell. You can tell.
Put me on the spot. Look. I mean,
maybe not. Well, is it comments or no? I don't know.
No, we don't have any comments right now. But I would say this. Here's the thing. It's one thing if you're in the gym every day working towards that better body, right? I think if you're actually putting the work in, you know, that's the whole fake it till you make it. See, I think a lot of people just fake it. They never make it. So you have to put in the work to make it. So if you're going to fake it, my personal opinion, this is Jada Costa's opinion, I feel like you should be working towards it. So it's like, yeah, maybe you need a little extra help, a little girdle, you know, whatever you do. But at some point, you should be able to relinquish the girdle belt. Or, you know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
Or the shaper or whatever it is. If you're really in the gym putting in that work. But don't be posting pictures of you in the gym talking about body goals. And then when I see you for real, it'd be like, do you even work out? You get what I'm saying? I feel like there should be some work towards it. And the same thing goes for money. David Byrne said people should stop trying so hard for people that don't care. And that's, you know what? And that's like a big...
It's about validation.
That's a big amen to that because I think, you know, I was going to ask the question, you know, where do you think this social media validation comes from? And feel free to answer that question, anyone. Where do you feel like this need to front or to have more comes from? But a lot of times, I think David kind of hits it on the head. People are trying their best to appease people that don't care. I mean, dying, going broke, just to get some likes from some people. No different than the crate challenge, hoping that you're gonna fall. If you make it across, they'll give you some fake love. But if you fall, they're gonna be just as happy and just as entertained to see you do that too.
But I think that on a serious tip, there's a little bit of a mental health underline or underbelly to the conversation. And the reason being is that a lot of us cannot deal with rejection. So to post something of your true self and you are overweight or you are not the best singer or people at the church don't really care for your personality, it's hard to be rejected. And so all of us, it's like a hierarchy, whether you're in church, whether you're at work, you know, it's like a pyramid, literally. You're looking for validation to be able to stand above somebody else because in your mind, well, this is what makes me likable. This is what makes people accept me. And I think that a lot of us hold on to the small little thing that we feel like we are validated the most in that particular space. As an example, if I'm somebody that's overweight and not socially awkward, but I'm a phenomenal singer in church. I'm going to hold on tight to that church space because in that space, I'm a superstar. Outside of that space, if I go to the gym, if I go to a lounge, I'm uncomfortable because I'm at the hot stuff in that space. And we should get to a place where we can go to any space, no matter what it is, and be truly, truly comfortable with who we are, how we look, who accepts us, no matter who's in the space. And typically that's not what happens. We stick to what we know. So you have some people who will post the same sympathy statuses on Facebook because or Instagram because that gets them the most likes. That's how they feel validated. So rather than posting about being empowered, it's like, woe is me, I'm going to continue to post being a victim because that's what's getting me the most attention. And so I think we need to call a spade, and the reality is it's threaded into mental health.
Yeah, I mean, but then also it's also even in the reverse, right? I've seen people who post all these spiritual posts. They post all these overcome, this, and then every time you meet them, they complaining. Their life in shambles. Everything is wrong. When you know those people you know in person, you know their life ain't that great. But they're always posting all these encouragement posts. And maybe that's a kind of a fake it till you make it situation because maybe they're posting it to encourage themselves. But my thing is, if you're going to post your overcomer, if you're one of these girls in a bad relationship, if she's watching, I don't really care because she put her business out there all the time. But if you're in a relationship that's failed and it's out in the open, right? And you keep on posting all these gym pics talking about, yeah, you know, my booty going to be better than hers, yada, yada, yada. Then how is it that the next day you posting another whole commentary when people feel sorry for yourself because you don't have the dog no more? I mean, I know it sounds jacked up, but I mean, it is. You don't know who I'm talking about, and I'm not going to say anymore because I'm not going to call the person out by name or even shout out their city. But they know who they are, and there might be multiple people that fit that. My thing is, if you're so-called over your ex, if you're so-called better than the next person, then actually be that. You shouldn't have to post about it. You get what I'm saying? And then, or have some, I guess, let there be some type of, I don't know, continuity to what you're proclaiming in your life. You get what I'm saying? And the audio should match the video. So if you're saying with your mouth, this, then your real life should be some semblance of the thing you claim that you are.
Yeah.
You can't be a motivational speaker and then you down in the dumps off the camera. At some point, I mean, this is why people get mad at pastors, right? Because pastors might preach one thing and then you look at their lifestyle and you be like, dang, you know, Pastor so-and-so cheating on his wife. You know what I'm saying? You find out that this person trying to help you save money, come to find out they broke.
Or they embezzling the money.
You know, so I think audio has to match the video. So I think, yeah, it's all right to, you know, to a certain extent, fake it till you make it. But at some point, you got to stop faking it and you got to make it.
And I think one last thing I want to make, and then I'm done with this point, is that also when it comes to like shifting the power of who has it, when it comes to this validation and faking it till you make a conversation, I feel like if someone is treating you badly or poorly and you know it, you have to address them. I'm saying that because I can sit here and admit that I don't do a good job with that, and why knows. There have been people who have treated me horribly, but because I'm just such a nice person and I don't like confrontation, I just say, okay, whatever, I'm not going to address it, I'm just going to not engage with them. But I think that there is power in addressing somebody by telling them, you are doing something that is, you know, you're gaslighting me or you're making me feel bad. Mm-hmm. I don't like it. You need to change that behavior. When you call somebody to the carpet for their poor behavior and how they're treating you and others, you actually take the power back. And now you're no longer looking for their validation or feeling like a victim to them. So I'm just sharing that because I think that this fake it till you make it, it's a larger conversation than just, oh, I'm just trying to impress people. It really does come down to human interactions and you wanting validation from others. You want to feel respected.
Well, let's break it down because we talked about social media, but let's talk about the implications of fronting at work, right? Because we see this, how people could relate to a lot of these different points when it comes to work. You know, one, you'll see that people will boost their resume or their experience to get a job. A lot of people do it. Don't act like you ain't all been there. You know what I'm saying? Shots fired. You claim your management experience is a little better than what it was. You kind of like dress up your old titles. You know, little things like that. But here's the catch. At some point, you got to show and prove. And too often, people come into the workplace with the representative. I've said this to folks I worked with before. It's like, try to be the person you were in the interview. No one comes to the job saying, yeah, I'm going to oversleep. I'm going to show up late. I'm going to give mediocre work. I'm not going to be a team player. Everyone in the interview says, oh, yeah, I can do this. Oh, yeah, I'm available to work weekends. Then they get the job, and all of a sudden they don't want to do a darn thing. And then the other thing about fronting is, you have a toxic manager, or you have some kind of leader that's doing someone wrong. But instead of saying anything, you go with the flow of this bad behavior, right? Because you're doing whatever fake stuff you got to do to hopefully get ahead. But the thing is, when you don't call out and draw out bad behaviors in institutions, you get companies out there who have struggled, who've had to lay off, who've had bad media PR because they didn't address bad habits in the workplace. And at some point, to your earlier point, you have to call out these bad behaviors so we can move forward at the workplace. But too many of y'all are scared to do it. Now on social media or out and about, you be like, yeah, I wish my boss would talk to me like that. And then your boss talk to you like that on Monday, and guess what you do? Nothing. You don't call HR. All this big bad you talk at the get together or when you was hanging out with so and so or whatever on the weekend, you ain't no piece of that come Monday morning.
I think it's because of this that you're scared. Because your job is what you use to be able to pay your bills. So if you decide to, check them or go toe to toe to them, it's the fear of, man, how far can I go? And if I say this, does this jeopardize my income? Does it jeopardize my lifestyle? And I think that that's a huge risk to take. So you just say, man, I'm going to cuss them out, on mute on the camera. I ain't going to cuss them out in person, but in real life, you probably would cuss them out. And it really is a toxic relationship.
And then David Burns said it's true. It's not the job they signed up for. That's a fact. But then, and this is why I use the whole, black folks, we are angry. It's true because we feel like we get disrespected at work. I think talking specifically to us, right? We do get angry. And I think there's a way to control that fire, right? There's a difference between an atomic bomb and a flame. A controlled fire like a flame can help you start a meal, set the candle, set the mood right. You get what I'm saying? Small flames could do very good things for you because it's controlled, right? But then if you don't know how to control the fire, you get brush fires, you get bombs, and then that's destructive, right? Because then it consumes everything in its path. I think more often, black people especially, we need to get more comfortable with lighting that flame, right? Having that controlled fire, and if you do it early on versus waiting until we get so exhausted with the disrespect and the gaslighting. Come on, though, it's in the term itself, gaslighting. If we address it early with that simple flame, we're controlling the fire in such a way to say, hey, look, this thing right here is still hot. It'll burn you. You need to relax. You need to talk to me like you're an adult. Let me talk to you offline. Hey, let me go ahead and call you and the management in so we can address this.
Setting boundaries.
Or tell somebody, hey, look, now you fronted to get this job, but at the end of the day, I need you to hold up your peace. You're here now. This is the standard for it. And it's okay to call somebody out and say, you're not meeting the standard and this is what I need you to do. So I think we need to learn how to control our flame, especially in the workplace, because too often we're in danger of being what they call Oreos or Uncle Toms because we don't speak our piece. And I understand there's a legit fear there. You don't want to get caught out or do something out of line. And this is where understanding the power of your flame comes in. David Burns had a good point. He said most people will sign up for something, for a job, then end up seeing something different, and it was the job requirement, what the job requirements was.
I think he was trying to say it wasn't what the job requirement was.
Oh yeah, well,
and that's facts.
I think it's important to understand what it entails, and then keep in mind that certain jobs use different terminology for certain items, right? They have their own colloquialisms. They have their own corporate culture, if you will. So I think it helps. And especially now that we have things like LinkedIn, Indeed. You can reach out to somebody who works at a company and ask them, like, hey, look, I saw this on the job description. I just wanted some clarification. Can you tell me? Most people would be willing to meet with you. You can friend somebody, and if one person don't say it, You ask enough people, somebody's gonna be willing to talk to you. So, like I said, I know that's not exactly what we're talking about, but I figure I'll throw that in there because network is key. I can tell you one thing. Shorty right here to the right, network queen. When she's trying to figure out something or understand a thing, she'll meet with 5-6 people before making a move. And even then, sometimes you don't have all the right information. But at least you're making more so an educated guess, right? Versus just jumping off into the wind. And then we had another comment. But the job would tell them up front how the job really is. It's like an old saying. It may sound good on paper, but don't sound good to them in reality. And that's true. And I think sometimes, and I think that's where economic wealth comes in. Because in certain communities, people can just try things and decide, oh, it's not for me, and move on. Unfortunately, black people, we're not in a position where we can turn down $80,000, $90,000, six-figure jobs and say, oh, well, this is just like toxic for me, I'm not feeling it. Because you don't know when that next opportunity is going to come up. There are certain places in the United States where they're more readily acceptable or they can be found, but in some places in the country, you don't come across those jobs too often. So I think, that's another conversation in itself. That's when economic wealth, us building our own thing, allows us to kind of explore and find out what it is. But even if I'm in an interview, once I get to that third interview and I got the job, if it's enough money to take care of my needs, they telling me, hey, they're going to pay you $65,000 a year to do this thing. And it's like, man, that'd be a game changer. That's $15,000 more than my last job. Then you're in a position where it's like, even if I'm not ready for it, I'm going to go ahead and take it because I need that extra 15.
I think that there are different scenarios. And so what I mean by that is that there are people who take a job and they like the money. They may not even have an issue with the job, but the people drive them insane to the point where it's like, I don't know that I can really do this because people get on my nerves so much. And then there's the opposite of the people are great. Maybe you're not getting paid a lot, but the job is just so overwhelming. It, wears you down. And I think that's why people make the shift to say, I want to do my own thing versus working for somebody else. Because if I'm going to wear myself down, I want it to be for something that I love or that I am the decision maker, reaping all of the benefits and all of the financial, patronizing that comes with it. And I think it's a journey. I can say for myself, I am sometimes disappointed in myself because I feel like I am in this rat race and I'm so talented in a lot of areas, but I'm not really doing anything with my talent because I don't really have the space or the time to really pour into the things that I'm naturally gifted in. Like, I didn't need, I have vocal lessons, but I didn't need vocal lessons. It came to me naturally. I didn't need somebody to say, here's how you pay. I'm naturally into the arts, and I think in America especially, I think if I lived in the UK, I think it would have been easier for me to actualize my gifts. No?
Possibly.
Because I think the UK really does value the arts equally as much as other industries. In America, I thought people like, you want to be a what? A singer? You want to be a painter? Like, what is that? That ain't gonna put food on the table. So a lot of us who are naturally artsy, we just feel like, well, I guess I can't really pursue that because, ideally it doesn't seem like a stable career.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things. I think we just need to be more real with ourselves in general. If the point of this conversation today is we need folks to keep it more real with themselves first, and then especially with those that you encounter in society. The next one, I gotta bring this up: relationships. You got a lot of people fronting relationships, men and women both. You got men acting like they gonna be sweeter and whatever than what they really are.
When they come to give them the BMW and they know.
Okay, and fellas, we do this a lot with money, right? A lot of men out there front like they got more money than what they really got just to get a chick. Like, literally, these are real stories. Showing up, pick up a girl in a BMW, taking her to these expensive restaurants you could barely afford, bringing them to a house that's your buddy's house who's out of town, acting like you got it. You get what I'm saying? And then what happens is when you get into a real relationship, all of a sudden now you want to go half on everything because you really couldn't keep up that front that you had. Same thing for women too. I'm gonna put y'all out there. Some of y'all be acting like y'all way more agreeable and feminine than what you really are, and then get into the relationship with them and they disagree with everything you got to say. Argue about everything you got to say, right? Pretend they clean because you never really see them at their house, or they living with their mama and them, and then come and find out they nasty. Don't wash no dishes. Don't wash no clothes. Just trifling. Don't work.
Here, dating sites is like this.
Dating sites like what?
Are people, faking about their representative?
Oh, I'm pretty sure, right? There's the you got the Tinders, you got the Plenty of Fish. Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are fronting on there, putting their best representative. And a lot of them, let's be honest, in these sites, think they just doing it just to get some quick, just to get a quickie. Just to get some fun thrills for the night. So they say whatever they got to say. But they're not looking long term. Girls is out here trying to get flued out. So they giving you their representative. And I feel like in relationships, this fronting thing is dangerous because then you start looking at marriage rates. Like the average black marriage, I want to say 97% of black marriages don't make it past 3 years of marriage. No, sorry, only 6%. So that means in the reverse is 94. 94 black marriages these days don't make it past 3 years.
That's scary.
And it's scary, and it's kind of like, so, everybody fronting on wedding day, right? They get these lavish pictures. People want to be featured in these magazines. Everybody does these big, elaborate engagement shoots and all that just for the thing that to last longer than just a long-term girlfriend-boyfriend situation.
But I think it's because the expectations are not realistic. And what I mean by that is that for men, there is the expectation that he must be a provider, he must be a baller, and if he's not providing or making over 6 figures, this is what the commentary is this day. He's useless. I deserve to be happy. I don't want to be with him. For a woman, you must be able to maintain the shape that you had when I met you at 20. You must be sexy all the time. You must be willing to give me sex when I want. You must have the house clean. So if you vary from that, you're useless. I got a coworker that's, cuter than you. And I think what people fail to realize is that seasons change. People change.
Absolutely.
When you accept that change is inevitable, you will then be able to navigate your relationship in a way that is healthy and realistic. I understand being married to Juan, that it's a possibility. I'm not saying that I would be happy with, but it's a possibility that he may not be able to be the same provider 24/7 because that life is just not like that. Juan understands it's a possibility. Well, I mean, shoot, we've already experienced it. How Juan met me, I'm not the same shape that I was when he first met me. And as you get older, things change. As you deal with death, it changes you. Your interactions with relationships that, whether you lose a family member or maybe you break up a close relationship with a friend, it's going to change you. So when you manage your expectations, I think you have a better foundation for a long-lasting marriage.
Yeah, I would agree. I think just once again, the message is very clear, y'all. We just got to keep it real. And the last one, because we're getting close to time, and we got some announcements I want to make sure we get off before the show is out. But the impact of fronting in politics. Now, I reached out to a politician recently because they were talking about something, an issue that they were having in their particular jurisdiction. And it just so happened what I do professionally, I was able to help, right? So I, reached out to the particular politician, told him about, hey, look, let's meet. I think there's a way I can help. My company can help. We have programs around XYZ. And then the response that I got back is, oh, well, technically I don't really deal with XYZ. You need to talk to so-and-so. But then it's like, okay, cool. Let me talk to so-and-so. But then it's like, they don't want to help no more. So my thing is, what's the point of grandstanding, right? And acting like this particular issue is so much of a big deal to you. But then when it comes time to actually enact some kind of action, all of a sudden, you don't want to help. You don't want to, give a reference or anything like that. And I think that's kind of whack. And we see that in politicians a lot. I mean, Kamala and Joe, to me, have been disappointments because it shouldn't. I mean, there was just a protest in D.C. yesterday. There was 2 protests, actually. There was one because of another unarmed black man shooting. And then also they were protesting about protecting voter rights. But there's all these different things we've been marching up and down the street for. Meanwhile, the response is legislatively counter to the things we care about. Even these people who are supposed to be champions of our movement aren't doing anything. Now, all of these politicians act like they were for reparations, but I don't see not one reparation bill about to get passed in the House. All of them told us, oh, we got to vote for our lives because Donald Trump is a bigot and he's a racist, and I'm going to make sure that this stops. But there's no protection or lynching bill for black people. Asians got an Asian hate bill, so obviously don't tell me that you don't want to do something race-specific because there's already a race-specific bill out there. Or we see that the outcomes of saying certain things about certain races, there's an automatic repercussion to those actions, right? We see it in even in the Jewish community, right? You say something that's considered anti-Semitic, you will get canceled, shows will get put on halt, they'll throw you out the door of the job to the quickest. But meanwhile, black people, who the civil rights movement is built off the backs of black people. I'm not making this up, people. I know sometimes they like to revisionist the history and they act like all these groups were out there marching. No, it was primarily black folks getting them water hoses, catching them dogs sick after, right? And for us not to have that is grandstanding. And I'm just really getting tired of people acting like they're one thing, but when it's time to show and prove, it's another. And I've been saying this almost every episode, and I'm going to say it again today. Watch what happens in 2022, next year. We're going to have new elections for Senate. There's going to be governor elections. There's going to be Congress elections. And even in the municipality level, in your state, local governments, there's going to be elections. You know what the Democrats are going to say? They're going to say, oh, this is the vote for your life because they're coming to take this and they're coming to take that. And the Republicans this. Right now, we control the House. We control the Senate. And we control the executive branch. And we can't get key laws that all of these Democrats during the primaries ran on. We can't get those laws passed. What's the holdup? We got the votes automatically. If we were going by Democratic Party, this is why we can't align ourselves to one party. I think in some cases you're going to vote Democrat. I think in some cases you may want to consider voting Republican if it makes sense. We have a reasonable Republican governor here in Maryland. John Kasich was pretty cool out there in Ohio. And there's others scattered throughout the United States, Republicans who are middle of the line, they're not far right, that I think will take on issues and say, okay, let's look at a real solve for this problem. But I think too often we get caught in the emotion of what frontin does. Yeah, you can line dance. Yeah, you went to a HBCU. Oh, great, you're a D9. But what does that mean unless you go up there and pass an actual law that's going to benefit said individuals? And then too often there's a breakdown. There's some folks out there fronting on social media like they're more down for the culture than what they really are. But then when they're given the chance or they have the resources in their pocket to do something, you see these folks embezzling money, stealing.
Especially in D.C.
Countless stories of where they're supposed to be giving money to the community, and meanwhile they take the hot dogs that were meant for the community event and they buy extras to take home to their own kids. This is not fake, people. These are real stories. They're not exaggerations in folklore.
A lot of government money, whether it's federal or state, is wasted.
A lot of it.
Like shamefully wasted, and it's sad because we pay taxes every single year and our taxes are not being used appropriately. I know that we're running on time, so I do want to say one thing that's a little bit shifting topics. I would be remiss if I didn't say this, but today marks the anniversary of Emmett Till's death.
Yep.
And if you don't know, Emmett Till's death started the civil rights movement. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to raise that today because I think it's really, really important that we commemorate and remember what his death meant to the black community. It represented pain inflicted upon children, and that is how the civil rights movement began. Yeah. So, and then especially with all these young babies losing their lives because of senseless gun violence and all that kind of stuff, we got to protect the babies, right? You can't say, this or another, and then you run around here toting the gun, just blasting away, and you kill somebody's baby. Like, there has to be some balance to it. So we definitely do better. I'm just gonna go ahead into these shout outs and get ready to start closing out. Once again, shout out to DC Shop Pie for your area. Check them out. Shout out to G5 Gaming. Another anniversary date today is Michael Jackson's birthday. I was surprised by that. I don't don't know why in my mind, and someone please help me out. I thought that he was born around November. And that he died around
I thought he
late
died.
summer.
I think it was June when he died. But nah, Michael Jackson's birthday, you know
I
what?
was so surprised that he's a Virgo. I don't know why. I thought he was.
I mean, there was a lot of people calling him out today, so unless Teddy Riley and all them got it wrong.
No, I think I'm wrong.
Today, August 29th, today's his birthday.
I just didn't.
He died June 25th.
Okay, I just didn't know his birthday was in August. Wow.
Yeah. So Michael Jackson, the king of pop, his birthday was today. So shout out to Michael Jackson. Also, birthday shout out. We got Bruce Ross. Shout out Cuzzo. Birthday was today. Shout out to Lance Miller. I think his birthday was yesterday. Shout out to my man Craig Robert Graham. Shout out to Victor Brown. I see you, Vic. Shout out to Vicky Sutherland. Shout out to my man Loon, James Looney. Shout out to my cousin Joe Thompson, Legacy Food Group in the building. I see y'all. Shout out to my man David Haskins. Shout out to Benny Black. Man, you know, we ain't been into a Bus Boys in a minute. Like, we got to, like, if you're ever in the area, go to Bus Boys. They got some dope open mics.
Open mic is different these days.
Yeah, I mean, it hit like it used to. But Benny Black is a great host. So shout out to Benny. Shout out to Rebel Fitness. We see y'all. Shout out to Ernest Hudson. And also shout out to Ayana Evans. That's your cousin, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then also, we only got one anniversary to shout out today. But shout out to Shamari and Jessica Williams. They were celebrating their 3rd anniversary this weekend. So shout out to y'all. We love black love around here. Listen, if you ever want us to shout somebody out, a birthday or anything like that, some kind of a call out, let us know in the Nitty Gritty Show because we would be happy to do so. We love doing the shout outs. We love, making it interesting. So let us know. Also, got to pay some bills. Y'all see the tag in the top right corner. I think it's your top right corner if you're looking at it. We have our Cashapp now. So if you want to donate to the podcast so we can keep this thing going, feel free to do so. It's $, the Nitty Gritty Show, all together one word. Once again, $, the Nitty Gritty Show. Feel free to donate. Also, I think I have it listed in the description of this show if you want to do it as well. Keep in mind, we still have www.squadlocker.com where you could buy some Nitty Gritty Show merch. We have partnerships with Rydell. We have partnerships with Under Armour, Adidas. There's a couple of them out there. We got hats, we got shirts, all kind of cool stuff. Go pick up something, take a picture of it, hashtag the Nitty Gritty Show. We'll love to see you. There will be no show next Sunday. That's Labor Day weekend. So no show next Sunday. But when we do come back, we're going to do something fun. We're going to do a game night. We haven't done a game night in a while on the Nitty Gritty Show. And shout out to Nikki. I know you watching. We had played Black Card Revoked with her. I was able to find the game finally on Amazon. So we will be playing Black Card Revoked. We're going to test your black culture knowledge. When we come back that Sunday, let me see. That's going to be the... Hold up. Make sure I say the right date. September.
Is it the 13th?
It's the September the 12th. So no show on the 5th, but we're back on the 12th. We're gonna have a Nitty Gritty Show game night, and I think we're gonna raffle off some gift cards too. Might do a couple of $25 gift cards, maybe like 3 of them. So tune in, tell your friend about it. You're not gonna want to miss it. It's gonna be a really good time. Before we leave, I'll put us out on another bop. Since we was on some New Jersey club earlier. I'll play some more New Jersey club as we ride out. But once again, thank everybody for watching. We love you guys. Share it with your friends. Tell people about the Nitty Gritty Show. More viewers, more people tuning in. I think we're having conversations that I don't see anywhere else on media. So until something better comes along, we're going to keep going. You like this song, don't you? Track Star.
I like this, and I like Wizkid album is nice too.
Oh, Wizkid got a dope album.
It's really good. I do like this. What is this? This is the whole album.
Shout out to New Jersey Club. Shout out to DJ Todd.
See y'all.
Look, it's your boy David Costa.
It's your girl Katniss.
Together we are the Nitty